live and die with this football team, and have since I was 10 years old. Yesterday, for me, was simply the most humiliating and embarrassing football game featuring my Dallas Cowboys I have ever had to sit through, ever.
Worse than Monday night?
Worse than Monday night, because I remind you, this used to be our arch rival within the division.
Correct.
This was at Washington. This is the game you live and die for every year if you play for the Dallas Cowboys. And I remind you, 1960, they were an expansion team,
yes.
so that didn't count. In 1989, when Jerry and Jimmy took over, they were basically an expansion team, so that doesn't count. This counted because this defense yesterday featured six players who have made Pro Bowls before, some of them multiple times. This offense yesterday featured 3 Pro Bowlers and 3 receivers, potentially who could go over 1,000 yards receiving. And what I saw against what used to be our arch rival at Washington was a team that came out heartless and gutless and did not even attempt to compete from the opening kickoff to the bitter end. I saw a team that has quit on, as I feared after the Monday night game, has quit on the head coach and on the defensive coordinator.
Already?
Yes, sir. This team is done. This team will lose at Philadelphia 40-3 because it has quit for the season. I'm not just talking about quitting for a game. It has quit for the season. And yesterday, mid-game, I tweeted this because it occurred to me, I'm shocked that Jerry hasn't done anything about it yet except to defend both the head coach and the new coordinator.
What can he do?
I'm now convinced that he is secretly hoping that they lose out and he wins the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes. And I'm not kidding about that. He is just enough of a shrewd operator. He can be dumb but not stupid.
Right.
Where I think he might sit back and say, we're just rebuilding anyway. I give up this year. Let's play for Trevor Lawrence. Although I'm still not sure Trevor Lawrence is the best quarterback in college, because Justin Fields, every time I watch him, I say, wait a second, timeout. But for Jerry, he would be probably playing for Trevor Lawrence. And
the BYU look good, too.
Well, he does. But the point is, in Jerry's mind, because he's not that big a college football fan, I want Trevor Lawrence. He's 6'5". He looks the part.
He knows the name.
Yeah, he knows the name. And he could say, then I don't have a Dak problem anymore. We could just cut bait with Dak, and we could go forward with Trevor Lawrence.
Little does he know, Dak price is going up, and Dak's not even playing.
That is correct. So I want everybody to let this sink in, that yesterday they were playing a team that was ranked dead last in rushing yards.
Yeah.
Dead last in rushing yards were the former Washington, you know what they used to be, the Washington football team. And I want everybody to understand that a kid named Antonio Gibson had a career-high rushing yards of 82 for a game, and that in the first half yesterday, he had 94 on 11 carries. And if we could see his carry that went 12 yards for a touchdown that made it 9-0, it is so bad that nobody tries to tackle him. That's just heartless, gutless. We have quit.
You can run straight ahead.
We are done. We are done. Antonio Gibson, they turned him into Jim Brown.
I thought he was Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, well, there you go. At his best, at his greatest.
That's awful, Skip.
It was just awful. And for me, I knew it right out of the box, because the Redskins took the opening kickoff and moved all the way down the field until my defense actually made one play on a quarterback sneak by Kyle Allen from the 1-yard line on 4th down. They stuffed him. And I thought, oh, well, a sign of life. But then what happened, 3 plays later? Andy Dalton, who was running for his life the whole game, because obviously the whole offensive line is backups except for the one weakest link. There you go. And he's running for his life to his right, and you have to protect the football because you know you're going to be running for your life, and you get blindside stripped, and the ball goes straight back into the end zone, and Dalton Schultz has to fall on it for a safety. And that was game over right then and there, because this team is running away with the turnover differential on the negative. It is horrendously bad. It's running away with the most turnovers given up in football, and it never takes the ball away. So it is a disaster waiting to happen. And actually, I guess I should find some solace in the fact that they only gave up 25 yesterday, but the Redskins were averaging 18 points a game, and they scored 25 on the Dallas Cowboys.
That was the easiest looking 25 that you'll see.
So it's going to be very difficult for me to even watch the game at Philadelphia because the Eagles will just have their way with the team that is done for the season, not done for the week or the day, done for the season. And now I'm fascinated to see how Jerry Jones is going to talk his way out of this one.
Skip, you guys got your sorry butt on a plane and went way to D.C. to kick a field goal. And you telling me that's what y'all did? The Dallas Cowboys, America's team. Everybody loves to watch them. And we won 5 Super Bowls. That's what y'all did, Skip.
And remember, my man CeeDee Lamb and my man Michael Gallup caught exactly 0.
They had the same amount of catches that you and I had.
That is correct.
And we were on our couch watching them sorry raps.
Correct.
Skip, let me ask you this. What does your team, what do you do really well?
Offense, defense, special teams, what do you do well? Nothing. Your offense can't protect, you can't run, you don't do anything. Defensively, you're terrible. Even now, you got my guy, John Fossil. You got to make it seem like he don't even know special teams, because you don't even really do that well.
Agreed.
Skip, this is the 6th straight game in which you've trailed by at least 14 points. We blame Jason Garrett.
By the way, to your point, it's 7 straight games in which we have failed to lead early. We've given up the lead early. It was 7-0 to the Rams. And then the last 6 games, we have fallen woefully, hopelessly
by
behind.
At least 14.
Yeah, correct.
Skip, we blame Jason Garrett. It was 8-8. He couldn't get them motivated. He couldn't get them ready to play. That's an indictment on the head coach. We blame Chris Richard because we say the defense was too simplistic. They just line up in it, and everybody, Rod Marinelli, well, he doesn't have Sapp, and he doesn't have Simeon Rice and Brooksy, and the defense won't work. So we blame them. So you know what Jerry says? You know what? I hear you, fans. I hear y'all. I hear all the analysts saying Jason Garrett got to go. I'm going to go get a main man, Mike McCarthy. You do all you do, because they had him over at his house. Remember, they had him at his house. And Jerry Jones Jr. said, Dad, what are you waiting on? You already wrote this, man. What are you waiting on? We don't need to interview anybody else. We don't need to. We got our guy. That's the guy we wanted. We identified him. We got him. Skip, you keep telling me you Cowboys got these Pro Bowlers. Don Terry Poe, it's 2020 now. Don Terry Poe last made the Pro Bowl in 2014. Everson Griffin made the Pro Bowl last year, but somehow he was still available in August. Alden Smith last made the Pro Bowl in 2012. It is now, remember, he was out of the league for 5 years. Jalen Smith and D-Law. Now, you tell me, Skip, since D-Law got that money, he's played anything close to what he did the previous 2 years before he got that money.
I see little blips and flashes, but that's all. Nothing consistent.
Okay, what about Jalen Smith?
Nope. I see him often out of position. I see him getting beaten. I saw him yesterday trying to cover Logan Thomas, the tight end, and he just face guards him and then walks away clapping like, I did it. I did it. No, you drew a flag.
You do realize Logan Thomas was a quarterback, Skip.
Yeah, he was.
He was the quarterback at Virginia Tech. They moved him to tight end. But, Skip, I got a couple of, look at this. Jalen, on a play like this here, you just got to get him down. It's not about trying to break the ball up. Because you're already late. Now just get him on the ground. You have to understand, you're ISO, you're by yourself. That's it. If you miss this tackle, Skip, that's what's going to happen.
Yep.
He's going to walk into the end zone. Skip, this was embarrassing. You showed the play on the touchdown run by Gibson. Skip, we can make this all about Mike Nolan all we want to. But, Skip, how do you not have somebody in the A gap? And then he's like, okay, I can run straight ahead, or if I really wanted to, I can hit a hard right and go to the B gap. Skip, look at this. Nobody touches him. Look at this. He can go 1, 2. He can go anywhere he wants to. Look how much grass that is.
We are live from.
What is this? Come on, Cowboys. Now, y'all make it about, this scheme, ain't nobody teaching. It's hard for me to see a scenario, Skip, where a guy says, look, I don't want the A gap covered, but we're going to cover the B and the C gaps. Skip, this is pathetic. This is embarrassing. And let me tell you how embarrassing it got. They knocked your quarterback helmet off, and everybody looking around like, ain't nobody shoved nobody, Skip. Ain't nobody do nothing. Let somebody do that to any other quarterback. A lineman gonna get tall, Skip. You got to go shove somebody. You got to say, this is unacceptable. They're looking around. Talk about, well, we didn't want to get tossed because it was... What you mean? You had already gotten tossed. You had already stopped playing. So what? You might as well just go in and call and get your shower at least. You can be out the way. You don't have to share the shower and the soap with anybody. You could have been unshowered and dressed by the time they get into the locker room. You can't let somebody hit your quarterback like that and you don't do absolutely nothing. Skip, it's pathetic.
Okay, this is the only point of contention I have with everything you just said. The only reason, this is the one play on which I will not criticize my Cowboys yesterday, because Mike McCarthy used this after the game to draw attention away from the debacle, the disaster that was this whole game. And he's saying, he's trying to criticize the team. We got to fight back. We got to have our quarterbacks back. Okay, let's analyze what just happened on this play. First of all, you have to understand that 4 Pro Bowl starters